Next, gentlemen, it's on to round two, and we've got only 4 games this week because there is ACL commitment. Ulsan versus Seoul. It's not Ulsan who is still in the ACL, but yes, Ulsan and Seoul and Pohang versus Gangwon. Because of the commitments there on the continent, those 4 teams will not be playing this weekend. So just the 4 matches. One of those hasn't got English commentary on it, so we'll just be looking at the 3 games this weekend. The first game with commentary is on Saturday. Bucheon FC 1995, going to get it in there. And Daejeon Hana Citizen are, on the Saturday afternoon, Paul.
Yes, that's me. We'll have to see whether Daejeon can avoid being bitten by the underdog like John Book were on round 1. But 1-1 draw last time out for Daejeon, 3-2 win for Bucheon, as we know. But I would say though that Daejeon shouldn't really be too worried, I don't think, because it was a rather lucky win, I think, for Bucheon. They had huge slices of luck, as you kind of mentioned earlier, Matthew. Some fortune, certainly. But I just think that this game, it will be obviously their first ever K-League 1 home game, Bucheon. So should be a big crowd. Hopefully a raucous crowd always helps, the atmosphere, sort of get me in the mood as well a little bit when it's a good atmosphere. But I think looking at perhaps some key players or key battles, Ludvigsen was superb for Daejeon against Anyang, and I think Bucheon's right back will have to be on their game. They went a 3-5-2 initially, weren't they, Matthew, with Shin Jae-won at right back and Hwang Sung at right centre back. So they might have to try and double up on him, maybe. But if they do that, it creates space for the number 10, probably So Jin-soo. So I just think it's going to be a case of how they really try and contain, most likely, Ludvigsen and Ju Min-kyu as well. I think the battle between him and their centre-backs, Patrick and Baek Dong-kyu. Now, Ju Min-kyu, he always seems to sort of win free kicks from centre-halves high at the pitch because they haven't been able to out-muscle him. He often just lets them hang off him almost. He will chest it down or whatever and turn, and he has a centre-back sort of hanging onto him. I've seen it so many times, and he's able to bring it down and then pick out a pass from deep. They're going to have to be very careful about that. So those 2 players, Ju Min-kyu and Ludvigsen, I think, and obviously they played together before a lot for Ulsan, so there's that connection there, that synergy, if you will. Obviously for Bucheon, I'm looking at Jefferson Gallego again. I mean, will he start this time after that sort of Kim Sung-bin injury that made him come on a bit earlier than perhaps he was expecting to against Jeonbuk? But I don't see why not, because Daejeon have been vulnerable to counter-attacks or spacing behind. And Gallego, how many times have we seen him score that goal? Even when he was at Jeju and at Gangwon, he would always score goals like that where he's got the legs to sort of run in behind. So Ha Chang-rae, probably with Kim Min-dok at centre-back, they're going to have to be really, really sort of smart in how they play the offside trap if they do. But Daejeon will feel as though they should have won against Anyang. They had the most shots on target from the whole sort of round 1, 5. So they'll have a point to prove, I think, against Bucheon. Injuries and suspensions. Well, On Sang is potentially a returnee. He mentioned that the injury isn't as serious as they first thought, so could feature. Basani is a doubt, though, for Bucheon. Apparently, might have a hamstring problem. I think this will be a Daejeon win. Let's say 2-0.
2-0 is what we're thinking for that one. Be an interesting fixture. Tune into that one on K-League TV. The other game you can tune into on K-League TV on Saturday, if you can endure after Alex's review, there is Gwangju FC, but don't worry, they are playing Incheon, who might get a goal. That one, no English commentary on that one. So, sorry, Incheon
as far
fans.
as we know, because
as far as we know.
Because I did speak with the powers that be over the weekend, and they didn't rule out the possibility because the Seoul game has been moved.
Mm-hmm.
That they were supposed to be playing at Ulsan, but I don't really know. I think they left it up in the air, but here we are midweek, so I guess we have to find out pretty soon.
Well, stay tuned, Incheon Gwangju fans. It may be on. Otherwise, it will be on, but without commentary, without one of our lovely voices. Some say that's better. We would disagree, hopefully. But anyway, moving on to Sunday. It's me again with John Book, and maybe not as excited as I was the previous weekend. It's Gimcheon who is at home here. John Book, the visitors. Gimcheon, obviously, playing reasonably well against Pohang as Paul has gone through there. And yeah, they don't look as much of a pushover as we thought they could be. Go Jae-hyun is obviously my player to watch. I know he scored the goal, seems easy pickings, but he is one of the players I highlighted in the preseason preview as well. And I think could cause John Book a bit of damage. I think John Book are doing quite well with their fullbacks, and hopefully that should assist them there, assuming Go Jae-hyun plays out wide once more. But yeah, it's those centre backs for John Book. That's the place where if Gimcheon are going to get any joy, that's a weak spot for them to probe. I would be hesitant to change too much of this side despite the loss. The manager clearly felt Kim Jin-kyu wasn't worth sticking with for the second half, putting Lee Sung-woo in at attacking midfield, which despite getting positive reviews from everybody else, I actually thought Lee Sung-woo was a little bit disappointing personally, but he can always prove us wrong, I guess. Bruno Motta didn't have the best of games against Bucheon, but he was easily marked out of it. The Thiago came in for him. Will he start with Thiago this weekend? Chung Jong-young? Well, possibly. Looks like Andrea Campagno is nearly back. Might be still one game too many for him. Perhaps you'll see him on the bench. Could be a nice cameo. And it's going to be difficult. I don't see overall too much change for John Book. I don't see too much change for Gimcheon. And, I don't see much in it in terms of a result. I think it's probably going to be a draw. So I'm going to say 2-2 and hope it's a score draw. But I think both teams still kind of just finding their feet this season.
Mm.
Yeah. And, the last one, FC Anyang versus major goal threats, Jeju SK. Alex, are you ready for this one?
I mean, I've got to be ready for it. And I've got to think strategically, and if I don't have a game on Saturday, I have all of Saturday to plan as well. I definitely would love to give Sergio Costa at Jeju the benefit of the doubt, and I think even more so than some of the other teams, I think Jeju shouldn't even begin to judge until they're maybe 10 games in. They've got to give whatever they've been working on preseason. They've got to give it time to gel. When you go down to 10 men, yes, it's true that some teams can get better in that scenario. Sometimes they don't, and it would be unfair to judge the Sergio Costa revolution on the basis of one reduced team performance. They're obviously going to have Italo suspended.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's going to be a huge problem for them. I mean, ultimately, they've got to get that attack ticking. They took Namtahi off as part of their post red card reordering. Namtahi, we've talked about him before as a potential key man for Jeju. He's got to step up and be that kind of talismanic figure, quarterback figure, if you like, in a very advanced position, making things happen, playing in opponents. I don't know, what I saw from Jeju, some of the things that I saw last year, like Lee Chang-min, he's always got a trademark long-range effort in him that, almost always goes wide. This type of thing where it all starts to look a bit desperate and a little bit cumbersome. They've got to shake that off. If I was Sergio Costa, I'd be like, we've got to go for broke here. We cannot play negative football and expect things just to be okay because we can't be automatically relegated, or Gwangju might be worse. That is not the way that he's going to keep that job. He's got to use the freedom that comes with not being able to be automatic relegated to play like as if you're a Bucheon 1995, everyone's favorite 31-year-old club. You got to play like with that newly promoted freedom. Anyang, I don't know enough about them. I mean, at this season, I need to check out the bits and pieces from the game that Paul just referred to before against Daejeon. But I think I was pleasantly surprised for them that they were able to go toe-to-toe, at least scoreline with Daejeon, and make things a bit close. and Mateus is still an important player for them, they could probably do with Mota more than John Book right now. I don't know what to expect from them, but surely an Anyang win is most likely based on what we know so far in round one.
Okay, an Anyang win potentially on the cards then this Sunday. All those games on tv.kleague.com if you're overseas. Otherwise, you can watch it on Kupang Play with Korean commentary if you're in Korea. That's it for this week, gentlemen. If you want to follow us, you can follow us on social media at K-League United across all platforms. You can also follow us on Instagram for this podcast in particular at From Outside the Box, where we'll share commentary, highlights, notes, etc. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/K-League United. And once again, we're sponsored by Record Pizza and TNT FC. We'll be doing more with them as the season progresses. And keep an eye out as well for the Back Post, which is coming out later this week. All your latest news rounds up, all the headlines, no faff. So, that's it from myself, Matthew Binns, from Paul Neat, from Alex Jensen. Thanks so much for listening. Goodbye.